Welcome one and all to the rebranding of this channel. As you can tell, it's now called Chats with Fjook because I was gonna call it Conversations with Fjook, but as some people point out to me, conversations require two people, and there's a few ideas I have for this channel where it's just gonna be me talking to myself, but as you are aware, the format is basically gonna stay similar. I'm gonna have guests on like I do today. Damn it, I know you're the cursed paladin, but I forget how to pronounce your name, sir.
Titanicus.
I got a question for you, Artanicus. How well do you know Spider-Man?
I think pretty goddamn well. Haven't really played the games per se too much, but I was growing up, I watched a number of the various cartoons. So I know the lore of Spider Man fairly well.
Several of the cartoons you said?
Yeah, since heck, I saw the 1960s one when I was very young, and the 90s and early 2000s set. I think the last one I saw was the Ultimate Spider Man.
Have you read the comic books?
I read one or two, but not many of them. They're a little hard to find out in the region I'm in.
Magic the Gathering has decided to do half of the stuff released in the standard, therefore is legal in all the sets. They've decided that half the stuff they're going to be releasing is other people's intellectual properties, and they've also decided to increase the number of sets going into standard from 4 to 6. So that means that 3 of the sets this year are intellectual property. We had Final Fantasy earlier, and in a couple weeks they release Spider-Man.
Okay.
Since you've just watched the TV shows, you're probably not aware of how many Spider people there are in the main Spider-Man universe.
Let's see, there was Gwen as one Spider character. Don't remember who the original Spider Woman's name was. You have Peter Parker. You've got trying to remember the guy's name. Miles, I think it is.
Yeah.
The various ones are the Ultimate Spider-Man, which were clones, and others. Like you had the Iron Spider, the Crimson Spider. Uh, hell, there were like about 5 different Spider-Man on that one. At one, you also had multiple different symbiotes going on that one too, with Mary Jane being the Carnage Queen. You had, I don't remember the guy's name, the psychopath inmate that was the original Carnage. You have Eddie Brock as Venom, but within Ultimate Spider-Man, he became Agent Venom instead because he was more compatible and was able to actually control the symbiote in that one. You have the anti-Venom, which was let's see, bloody Osborn's child. I'm trying to remember his name. What was the guy's name? Damn it. Peter Parker's best friend. I can't even remember his name. It's gonna drive me up the wall.
Harry Osborn.
Thank you. So I'm like, Osborn, Osborn, Osborn. And all I got it going through my head because of the Osborn part at the because of the whole recent bit with the Osborns sort of deal is the grandfather of rock and roll and the like. Ozzy. For some reason, it kept popping up in the forefront of my mind there when I was thinking Osborns.
People, the legendary creatures that are spiders that are from the main universe are there's Arachne, Alana, Ezekiel, Iron Spider, Miles Morales, Ben Riley, Kane, Silk, Peter Parker, Spider Woman, and the Superior Spider Man. That is
Okay,
about.
so they didn't go. Huh.
That is who they.
Sorry.
That is who they chose to for the. And a lot of people think, out of the, if you take out the duplicates, uh, if you take out the duplicates, depending what you consider a duplicate, because Cosmic Spider-Man and Peter Parker Spider-Man are both Peter Parker, just at different times in the comic books, because Peter Parker gets the cosmic. But if you take out the
Yeah.
duplicates, depending what you consider a duplicate and what you consider an alternate reality version, there is between 22 and 28 individual Spider characters for this set, and 11 of them are from the main universe.
Surprised it didn't go for Spider-Man 2044, I think it was.
The the that was just from the main universe. They did do the other 11 to 17 are from the multiverse, including Spider-Man 2099.
That was the one. I don't know if it was thinking 44, but yeah, 99 there. Uh, since after all, I know him well enough too, a little bit. Sorry.
People complaining that there's a lot of people complaining that there's too many Spider characters in this Spider-Man set, but as I just there are, they didn't do any of the evil, um like, you've watched the 90 animated show, you said, right?
Yeah.
um you remember when Spider-Man gets 6 arms?
Yes, the the whole mutation bit, which later in the show, after he is cured, he has the whole Secret Wars thing, and at the end of it, he and Madam Web send him to various worlds, and he recruits other Spider-Man, including the 2099.
6 arm Spider-Man. There's an evil version of Spider-Man called Doppelganger, who's basically Spider-Man with 6 arms, razor sharp claws, razor webbing, and he's not in the. And there's other evil Spider-Man, but there's not a single evil Spider-Man that they used for this set. They're all good people.
That's surprising, since there are a handful of them. But yeah, I just remember from the whole Spider War recruitment bit after the Secret War one of the Spider-Man that they recruited was one that had that 6-arm mutation bit that didn't get the cure, and during the episode, he got afflicted with that. The mutation kicked off, and he mutated and started going on a rampage, attacking everyone like the Hulk does.
The things that I am disappointed with in the Marvel set, in the Spider-Man set, because it's all revealed now. As I said, they didn't go with any evil Spider-Man characters. I would have liked to see the evil Spider-Man characters for multiple reasons. One of them being they went uh, they have Carnage and Shriek, and in the Maximum Carnage, Carnage breaks out of jail. He basically and breaks Shriek out of the well, I think it's called, I forget what it's called, but it's basically New York City Marvel's version of Arkham Asylum. He breaks out this
Yeah.
chick with him, and they meet up with, and they slowly recruit other people, and one of them's Doppelganger, another one's Demo Goblin, and I can't remember what the third guy's name is, but they recruit 3 kids, and while Shriek and Carnage on the set. Um, and there's a saga called For Maximum Carnage, so you got that. None of the kids are on the set. Since you've watched a few Spider-Man shows, you're aware that there's more than just the Green Goblin and Hobgoblin for goblins, right?
Yes. But those two are the main ones because the Hobgoblin is basically Harry when he got infected with the gas himself, if I remember right, from the 90s one. I think they changed that with the 2000s and the Ultimate there with Goblin Junior instead. But yeah, I know there's been a few variations on the goblins.
Um, the main Hobgoblin is a rich guy who finds this goblin suit and terrorizes. That's in the comic books, anyways. But Haley Osborn doesn't get a card.
Surprising considering he's such a major figure throughout the Spider-Man universe in one shape or form.
Does Kingpin not have a card?
And that's a surprise, considering he was a major one of the villains there too.
Sorry,
After
I
all,
have to double check this.
hopefully they have the Sinister Six in there. If they don't have them, I'd be shocked.
Who do you consider the Sinister Six?
Oh, they usually go with Lizard Man, Mysterio, Electro, Sandman, and I don't remember who else. Octopus, Doctor Octopus there, and can't remember who the sixth one was. But that's usually the combo they go with, and it's been a reasonable mix. But I know in Ultimate Spider-Man, Sandman got rehabilitated and became an actual hero in a sense partway through that series, where Spider-Man helped him come to terms with some of his powers and abilities, and he was able to get his anger under control, as well as convince the world that he wasn't a threat, similar to the Hulk's little story.
Yeah, there's no Kingpin.
Surprising.
But yeah, they have all the Sinister Six.
Huh. Neat. At least they got them in. Since hell, I'd be very surprised if they didn't have those guys.
The I understand why they did this. I don't like that they did this, but I understand why they did this. I understand why they included so many multiversal characters. But I wish they would have had like Kingpin or the symbiotes that spawned off Venom besides Carnage, or the toxin, the symbiote that spawned off Carnage, or there's so many characters I wish they would have included that they didn't
Yeah.
because too many people care about. I'm the big Spider-Man movies these days are into the Spider-Verse, so I understand why they did it. You know what I mean?
Considering with it being such a massive multiverse, they can sort of get away a bit with it. But it is a disappointment that they didn't introduce more of the villain-based characters, since a number of those characters are interesting via their lore and everything else, like you said with Toxin and everything. But hell,
Leave a comment answering this question, and I'm going to ask Artanicus. Mine is Ben Riley. Who is your favorite Spider-Man character, Artanicus?
hmm, I'll admit I didn't mind the Agent Venom character from Out of the Ultimate. It was an interesting spin on the Venom symbiote in general. I just wish they had decided to follow that with a, you know, in later, later TV shows and the like. But as far as I know, that was the one and only time you ever saw Venom really work side by side with Spidey outside of the comics too much.
And we'll catch you in the next video. Or podcast, whatever it ends up being.